Welcome to our unit lesson 5. Unit lesson 5? No, lesson unit 5. Okay. Welcome to our lesson unit 5, parental aspirations. Okay. We know that in IELTS, you might have to talk about people who are older than you. That's why last time I think we talked about growing old. Yes. And also, you might have to describe what your parents want. In the topic of speaking, for example, you might be asked, tell me about your parents, yeah, or what are your plans for future, or something like that. So when you're talking about your parents, you might need to have some vocabulary to describe what your parents want for your future. For that, you need these vocabularies. Demak, mana shu lug'atlarni bilsangiz, ota-onalar mavzusida speakingda yoki inshoni yozayotganda, demak, ota-onalar yoki kelajakka umidlar, orzu, niyatlar degan mavzuga nimalar qila oladigan bo'lib qolasiz? Lug'atlar bera oladigan bo'lib qolasiz. Qani boshladik. Let's begin. The first one, academic. It's very popular vocabulary. What does it mean?
It's usually connected with academic, like education.
Yeah, anything related to education can be academic. Yeah. So if it's an academic test, for example, in IELTS, it means that we need to prepare ourselves for education, for studying at the university. So it's academic test. It's some test related to studying at the university. So it doesn't have to be university, it can be school. So ambition, what is ambition?
Ambition is something you want to achieve.
Yeah, something that you want to achieve is ambition. What did you learn about academic and ambition in the text? What did we learn?
Like parents always care about academic success for their children, but they don't take into account the ambitions of their children.
Your parents might have very great aspirations from academic perspective, but that they may not include always your ambitions. How about ambitious? If I'm ambitious, does it mean I'm a good person, bad person? What does it mean? It can be both. It can mean negative things, like ambitious, like the person who wants all the time wants more and more and more, better, means ambitious. Also, who is more ambitious? Can it be positive?
Yeah, positive.
Where?
For example, I want to get 9 from IELTS. It's my ambition.
Yeah, it's not average aspiration. You have an ambitious aspiration. You want to get a serious result, score. Yeah. So it's ambitious. Okay, wanting to want more, wanting to achieve more can be called ambitious. So you're an ambitious person. What is aptitude?
Aptitude is ability or talent.
Mm-hmm.
It is given by
all right. So okay. How did they use this word in the text?
While parents don't take ambitions of children into account, some children might have aptitude towards other fields like art or like that.
Yeah. So you might have different aptitude. Yeah. The person might be studying in, let's say, one field, might also have aptitude towards another. Yeah. What is artistic? What is artistic?
It's a skill of art, I guess.
Yeah.
Artistic means like you can do something by yourself with your imagination.
Yeah.
It's not about academic knowledge, academic education. It's more practical maybe in field of art.
So okay, anything related to art maybe? And when in Uzbek, when they say artistic, we immediately switch to thinking about like people who sing, right? Singers. Artistic, for example, in Western world is mostly painting, drawing, right? Okay. How about this? Aspiration again? Okay. Yeah, ambition and aspiration. What do you think are they synonymous? Aspiration. Aspiration.
Ambition. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, close. They're very close. Yeah. But what's the aspiration though? What is it?
Probably this is much positive.
Aspiration. Yeah. Okay. Aspiration is just a need. Ambition is something need also, but for better. Aspiration is just a strong desire. It doesn't have to be great. Do you understand? Ambition is always great. Ambition is always IELTS 9, to run fastest, whatever, doing the best. Aspiration can be smaller. Ambition is never small. Aspiration can be, not always is, but can be small. I might have an aspiration to improve my writing a little better. I might have an aspiration to learn how to write essay conclusions. But if you have an ambition, you want to write the best conclusion. So what is bent?
It's a synonym for aptitude, like a natural skill.
So, all right, yeah. Natural ability, yeah, okay. What is commerce? Jahangir, what is commerce? Did you listen to the audio? Yeah, what is it? Can somebody hear it? Nobody, yeah? So any activity related to business or trade is called? Commerce. So it's about sales, business, trade, yeah? Okay. So the adjective form of commerce is commercial. So if you have a commercial relationship with another company, it means you are trying to do some sales with them, right? So communication, what is communication?
Exchanging information.
So what did they talk, how did they talk about the word commercial or communication in the text? Yeah.
Like many parents want their children to follow their footsteps and they force their children to get into commerce, for instance,
Yeah.
to become an entrepreneur or like,
From financial perspective, it's more alluring, it's more attractive. To be involved in such spheres, yeah? How about communication? What did they say about communication?
So especially communication between older people and young people.
Yeah, like
is
parents,
so
yeah?
difficult.
Mhm.
And they related this word to generation gap.
So if there's no communication between parents and children, for example, there can be generation gap. They don't understand each other. Great. So it's not just the problem of aspiration, future. It can be day-to-day problem, right? When you have no communication link or ability between two groups of people, you will probably have problems, among them for social.
Different ideas, different views.
When communicating different ideas, yeah, of course. Communication. So we know this. Conflict. What is conflict?
this is kind of disagreement.
Disagreement, yeah. So conflict is not fighting. Yeah, it can be in one of the forms of, for example, when you watch news, for example, right now world news, yeah, they might say, instead of saying there's a war going on in country A, for example, they say there's a conflict, military conflict. Instead of saying they are fighting, two armies are fighting, they say military conflict. So conflict can be military, can be serious, can be bloody, but also you can have personal conflicts, yeah, between who? Family members. What else?
Friends, classmates.
While communication also there can be a kind of conflict.
Yeah. Even while communicating with each other, they can have conflict or conflicting ideas. Maybe. How about that? Adjective. Using this as an adjective. Can you have? If you raise your hand, if you have a friend, you will probably say you had one or two conflicts, at least, if not every day, like at least once in your life. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about entrepreneur. What is an entrepreneur? Is it like a businessman?
Yes.
But what do you think is the difference between the entrepreneur? It has to be young, yeah?
No. This person recently began to run a.
So it's like a young businessman, like a new businessman? Not, okay. Person who sets up a new business or businesses, especially when this involves financial risk, in the hope of making a profit and getting a lot of money, is called entrepreneur. Businessman is just a person who, started a production or service. Any person who have their own jobs can be a businessman. But entrepreneur is involved with risks, financial risks. They spend some money, they open new things, they have a hope, they don't know what will happen. So there's so many other layers to entrepreneur. So which is more complex? Entrepreneur. Why? They have to open up their own business, new business, and they have to be involved in this business with some financial risk because they're spending their money. They maybe took credit from bank by depositing their house maybe. Okay, entrepreneur. Okay, so entrepreneur is closely related to risks, new things, risk, innovation. All right, footsteps.
To do the same work that someone done before you.
Okay, who do you think wants you to follow the footsteps of others? Who? Which group of people always want you to follow the footsteps of themselves? Parents, yes. So this is mostly, is this always positive?
No.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't have a desire for being somebody who force their children
In this
to follow their
conflict, let's say,
Yeah.
what do you need to solve that conflict when you have a what's it? Gap field? Yeah. Generation gap. So when there's a generation gap, when you can't understand each other, when you're having conflicting conditions, yeah, events, what do you need to do? Negotiation, communication. Yeah. All right. So, what did they say about footsteps? Following footsteps in the text. What did they say?
Some people who are involved in the world of business want to, and sometimes they are not willing to follow in your step for their children, because they suppose that their works and their occupations can be really tough to.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know, there is a. I don't know if I can remember the whole proverb, but there's a saying, maqal. Yeah, there's a saying that difficult conditions bring strong people. Strong people create good conditions. Good conditions create crazy people. Lazy people. Lazy people again difficult conditions. This is a cycle. So, when you pay attention to people who made it, to make it means to become rich. When you look at the lives of the people who made it, who became maybe entrepreneurs, maybe who improved their life financially, they don't want their children to follow their footsteps, fearing that they might have the difficulty and they must suffer just like themselves. And they don't want it for themselves, for their children. Which is, I understand. As a parent, when you become parent, you understand you don't want your children to be, in any level of pain. But at the same time, we don't understand that if they don't follow our steps, they are not going to go through the necessary, painful but necessary experiences in their stages of their lives, which is going to make their lives much more easier, just like it did for us in the future. Yeah. So yeah, I think we should sometimes follow the footsteps of people, right? If it's not life endangering, if it's not like, even then, if you like extreme sports, why should I stop you from following the footsteps of the person who is teaching you how to parachute jumping? Yeah. All right, let's look at the generation gap. I think we have already talked about generation gap. So if there's no what between parents and children, there will be a generation gap. If there's no one thing, if there's no one thing, yes. If there's no communication, if you're not talking to your parents, you might be thinking, oh, I will apply to Westminster University. Then I will become an entrepreneur. Then I will build my business. Then I will live in England. Then and blah 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 blah. But your parents thinking, first he or she will stay at home. Next year we will get her married. Something like that. You guys too are having values, ambitions, maybe aspirations, which do not match because you're not communicating. Therefore, you have a generation gap. Okay. What else did you learn about generation gap from the text? What did you learn? Did you listen to it?
Generation gap. Most of the time, there is conflicts and the means of communication, because some older generations see completely another things that cannot be matched with the desire of their children. So it's linked to generation.
And it's not always the parents, right? Like it can be your fault, like children's fault sometimes. All right, so it has to be balanced, right?
50-50,
like,
I think.
yeah, 50-50. Yeah. But I will tell you one thing that you cannot find from these books. When negotiating, don't forget to respect the other side. And why? Because you cannot communicate with people who don't respect you, who are always fighting against you, who are having conflicting ideas all the time, saying A is correct, B is correct, is never a solution. A good solution is fight. Oh, I knew that. Whichever marker is the first, it doesn't work. Fight the argument. Fight the argument, not the person. Yeah, not the person. Okay, that's very important, I think. I know this is not today's topic, but okay, when you're having this topic conversation in speaking, let's say, or writing an essay, you should understand you're not against the person, you're against the argument. You are one team. Your parents and you, or your best friend and you, at that moment had varying ideas, conflicting ideas, but it doesn't mean you're against your friend or against your parents. You're fighting the argument, not the person. Okay, so I think it's always good to have a second opinion. So yeah, generation gap. It doesn't matter who started it, but you need to have communication between your parents and you. Now, next one is graduate. What is a graduate?
Graduate is receiving university degree.
Yeah, getting a diploma from university is called graduation. Yeah. This one is a little bit confusing word for me. For example, if you say I'm graduating university, it means you got your diploma. But graduate student doesn't mean bachelor's degree. It means master's degree. Like undergraduate means bachelor's degree. Okay, this is very important to know. Postgraduate means like doctorate and so on. Like you become professor, you need to study postgraduate. So it's a little bit confusing. Graduate from university means to get your diploma, bachelor's diploma. But graduate student would mean you are master's student, not bachelor's student. Bachelor's student is undergraduate student. If you're a postgraduate, you're probably doctorate. You're going for doctorate. You want to become you want to get a PhD, professor of philosophy or something. Yeah, PhD it's called, abbreviation PhD. Then you can be called, I think, postgraduate students. All right, so graduate means to finish a university, and it can even, that's why it's confusing. It can even mean to finish a school. It's crazy. All right, let's look at the occupation.
It's profession. Job.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, profession or job. Which one? Occupation? Occupation is profession or job, but of course, there's the difference. Profession is not 100% similar to occupation. What's the difference? What do you think? Occupation means job, like a temporary job that you are having.
Yeah, in a company, in office, in market. But if you have a profession, you can work, for example, in time that you want without any restrictions.
Occupation is like what are you busy with, let's say. Yeah. Profession means it's like professionally you are expert in this field, maybe. Yeah. Offspring. What is offspring?
Children of someone.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with the season. Yeah. Offspring. So instead of saying children, you can say offspring. But the child of a particular person or couple, the young of an animal or plant. But you cannot say, hey, child. Instead of saying, hey, children, come here. You cannot say, hey, offsprings, come here. You cannot like in Uzbek, it's avlod. Instead of saying avlod, we say bolalar. Try to call somebody avlod and they will be surprised. So offspring can only be used in some instances and often humorous offspring. I didn't expect such an offspring, like dramatically speaking or something. You can read it in a book, like dramas, or you're using sarcastically with a joke, like I didn't expect such an offspring from you or something like that. Or like father like a son, they say, like like father like a son, or like mother like a daughter. What else? Offspring. Yeah, we were expecting such an offspring from that person, something like that. All right, so profession, a job which requires a high level of specialty. Yeah. If you have a qualification, if you have a diploma, then you can have a profession. But occupation, everybody has occupation. I'm not saying occupation is worse jobs. Occupation, any type of job can be occupation, but not every type of job can be profession. Status, what is status? Is it like a telegram status?
No, it's position.
The position of people in society.
Yeah, there's an unwritten rank here. For example, if Queen came right now, British Queen came, we would not talk like this, like, hey, Queen, how are you? Like this, we couldn't talk.
She has status.
Status, yeah, she has, her status is a little bit higher, like.
Everybody has status.
Yeah, it can be according to how much money you have, it can be according to your knowledge or behavior or your age,
family,
type of your job, yeah, maybe. Thank you. So stress is what you have compared to others. Let's call it. Yeah? Who you are or what you have compared to others. And what else did they say in the text about status? Status, not status actually. Status. What else did they say about status? Anything? Nothing? You didn't listen? No. You can read it, no problem. Nothing else? No. Let's move on to the next one if you don't have anything. No? Okay. Stress. What is stress? Tension. Usually in Uzbek or in Russian even they have stress, I think, the word stress. Yeah? But it comes with the negative connotation. Everybody knows the negative meaning of stress, which means worrying, anxiety, tiredness maybe a little bit, yeah? Being anxious, yeah? Being exhausted. But also, it can be positive. Positive. For example, talking with your friend who you really, really missed, who you wanted to talk for 10 days, and they came and you're talking. You're not as calm and as relaxed as you were 5 minutes ago before you saw that person. You were like sitting, you know,
it's
just.
Also kind of stress.
Yeah, it's sort of like, whoa, did she really come? Like I was sitting like this, and now he came or she came, and like, whoa, really? Your mother bought you an iPhone for your birthday. Really? Like this is positive stress, but it's still stress. Yeah. So you have some anxiety. Anxiety doesn't have to be negative. Anxiety can be positive. Imagine you got accepted. This is your first day at the university. Like nothing wrong, nothing negative, but overall you have a stress, right?
Stress can be caused by positive things. Like
yes.
Positive is big wrong.
If you asked me, but I don't know if this game, stress is closely related to waiting. Like waiting. Like you're waiting, something will happen. You're waiting, you're thinking about it, you're worried. Probably some chemical stuff is going on inside. That's why you have like, you know, your heart is pumping differently. All right. So stressful situation. Let's say. Where's the word? Yeah. Any situation that causes stress can be called stressful situation. Yeah. Yeah. And it can also mean as a verb. It can mean to stress. I must stress the importance of vocabulary for our speaking or writing exercises in the future or reading. Yeah, it means I must pay attention. I'm stressing the importance. I'm focusing or stressing or paying attention to something. Yeah. Our parents stress the importance of not taking a walk in the wee hours of the night. So they're
stressing the correct place.
Yeah. Also, yeah. As a grammar word, it means like you need to know where to stress on the vowels or consonants or even the words in the sentence. Yeah, for intonation. Talent.
It's also like a band, but talent is something that you do great.
Yeah, some ability.
Yeah. For example, band. It's like okay, you can solve math problems. Great, it's your band. But if you can solve problems from university when you are 5 years old,
that nobody else can do, or very few people can do, yeah?
This is talent.
Yeah.
It can be inborn.
Yeah, it can be inborn, yeah. Like, yeah, this is the old argument about whether talent is born or created or improved, yeah, whatever, yeah. It's called nature or nurture, yeah. Nature or nurture. What does it mean?
Is this inherited naturally, or you have to do something to develop?
Can anybody learn it by nurturing their skills, by improving their skills, or is it given by God or by nature or whatever? Yeah, are you born with it?
Maybe genetics.
Is it genetic? Yeah. So, of course, there is no it's like a chicken and egg. Which came first, chicken or egg? Just like that, is talent nature? If you say 100% nature, how can you explain all these people who in their later life learned how to play guitar or something, yeah? Or if you say it's only nurture, how do you then explain people who are young, who haven't nurtured their skill, but at an early age they learned how to do something really, really well, exceptionally well, yeah? So it can be 50-50. All right, I think we learned a lot today. If you liked our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and share with people who would like to improve their IELTS. Shu, keyingi darsda ko'rishguncha omad.